That would be so crazy. Oh my God, we are live. Bro, I've been wanting to stream for a while now. This is so cool. So, I'm doing this daily thing that's called daily reflections, where I'm basically writing down 10 ideas of things that have really impacted my life and reflecting on it. And so today on the list we have this. This is, by the way, number four, because I already did three, but not live because I didn't know how. But now I figured it out. The first one is your habits ROI. Number two, power of prayer. Number three, synchronicities. Number four, providence and predestination. Number five, pursuing things that actually matter to you. Number six, positive mantras. Number seven, Jim Carrey, The Real You. Number nine, reprogram your mind. And number 10, healing. And so I think the most interesting ones are synchronicities, Jim Carrey, The Real You, and healing. And I think they kind of connect. So if we start, let me fix this. Okay. So if we start, I want to talk about my journey with healing. So I was just recently reading a book called What Happened to You. And it was a book where a psychologist and Oprah Winfrey have a conversation about trauma. And in that book, there's some pretty crazy traumatic events that happen to people, and they see how do they deal with it first and how do they heal. Because most people that have trauma is either one of two things. Either one, they go into this deep rabbit hole of like the worst things that you could possibly do to yourself, meaning alcohol, drugs, and all the rest. And the other phase of it, which is basically you become obsessed with success and proving that you are enough. And it's also another addiction that people have, and I'm one of them. When I was younger, I went through a lot of. It's not the biggest trauma in the world, but it did affect me. Like when I was very young, I used to be a big bully, and people used to always, like, I mean, always shout and punish and just not hate, but like just punish me, and it would really affect me as a child. And you start, and they say from the age of 0 to 7, you form your personality. So imagine at 0 7 years old, and this is where you're in that theta state, like that hypnosis state, where you form your personality and your character. And so I got yelled at and punished and etc. so many times that it might have been programmed in my mind that I'm not good enough. And that's one of the beliefs that used to drive a lot of the things that I did, and now it's different. After reading that book, I realized a couple of things. First of all, the importance of awareness. So knowing that something is wrong, that you're suffering, that is the first step, in my opinion. And once you do that, then it starts the journey of healing, because you become aware of the thing that's hurting you inside or that's ruining your life, whether that's through everything we talked about before, like drugs and all the rest. And then it becomes the point where you can accept yourself with love, which is really hard to do. Like, this is so hard to do because I'm a person that's really hard on myself sometimes, and accepting something is hard. Taking breaks, relaxing, being nice to myself is really hard sometimes. And here comes a video that I watched by this woman. She talked about, it was called mindfulness something, and she was with monks. She was really burnt out, and she went to monks to kind of learn. By the way, I love monks. Like, I don't know why, but it just I love. I would love to meet a monk one day. But she went to the monks, and they taught her how to breathe, how to be present, how to be mindful, and they were teaching her how to focus on her breath, right? But every time her mind just wandered, she would pull it back, but with a negative negative pull. It would kind of be like, instead of please come back to the come back to the present moment in a nice way, she would say, just fucking just come back to the like, it becomes this thing where your mind starts using yourself against you. And that's the power of here, of being mindful and doing it with kindness, which is a key thing. And here, that's the difference. That's the difference between being a person that's driven by trauma, or being a person that sets out the intention to heal. And so, um, what I really love about this healing journey is that it's kind of never over. Like, the insecurity still pulls up from time to time. Like, once I go to the gym, and I don't know why, but it just pulls up, and I start having this spotlight effect where I think that everyone's watching me, everyone's judging me, and then, especially with like attractive girls, and then that happens, where it's like the ego jumps in and the insecurity flares. But that's the funny thing, when I'm, for example, in the business room and conducting business, it's super easy to be my full confident self. And that's where it's the story you have subconsciously programmed in yourself that affects everything. Like, when I was younger, I got bullied, and that developed the limiting belief that I am not good enough. And so every time I see an attractive girl or whatever, in my mind, the first voice that comes in is, you're not attractive enough. And that blocks me from being myself. And I start, and sometimes you start acting awkward and weird. And it's just a weird feeling. It just takes over you. And so, uh, then when I became aware of this, okay, this keeps happening every time I become aware of it, and I realize that, why is it that in the business world, when I'm performing, I'm just at peak performance, full confidence, just unlimited, like unlimited belief, but when it comes to the other place in my life, the insecurity just takes over me. And so here, what's really important is to be aware and to practice the mindfulness she talked about in that video, um, with kindness. Because I usually, when I'm not present, I'm like, "Hey, come back!" It's like it's like you have that annoying neighbor in your head. It's always shouting, being defensive, and just trying to. It's like a weird feeling. It's like super weird. And I realized that the best thing is to be mindful. Meaning, let's give a visual example. Imagine you're on a bench, right? And there's a highway in front of you. And that's an example that my friend talked about in the podcast we're going to release very soon. But imagine there's a highway in front of you, and you're just watching the cars pass by. Phew, phew, phew. Now imagine every single time there's a car, you start running after it, right? And you start running after it, even if it's a beautiful or an ugly car, right? And it's the same thing with your thoughts. If you keep running after them like cars on a highway, they're going to drive you crazy. They're just going to drive you crazy. And so, the thing that monks and professional meditators, I don't know if that can even be said, the thing that they have in common is that they're very, very good at not running after the cars or the thoughts. They're just aware. What does it mean to be aware? It means you're not resisting, judging, or attaching yourself to the thought. Okay? And here it's very important to realize that, because the moment I did, it creates these short moments of awakening where you're just at peace with yourself, where you're present, and where you allow for healing. Now, healing is a very powerful subject because it links to forgiveness. Because when you were younger, you had something happen to you, a trauma, maybe like me, where you got bullied, or your parents used to fight, or um, whatever happened to you. And here you developed a lot of shame, a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear. And that's where the power of forgiveness comes in. Jesus was able to forgive people that were literally trying to kill him. And it's that forgiveness that enabled him to heal and to show compassion and to love. Now, it's the same with you. If you had something traumatic happen to you and you didn't heal it, then it's going to manifest in everything in your life, in your relationship, in your business, in your social, your economic, everything in your life. You're going to see kind of drops of the blood of your trauma. You're gonna bruise people because of your bruises. And so here comes the responsibility you have as a human being to heal, whether that through consulting a psychologist, whether that's through reading books like I did, or watching videos, or going on your own personal development journey where you start reading, you start journaling things. Journaling is extremely powerful, not normal, because it enables you to see yourself from a third person perspective. And once you do that, then you can look at it and be aware. Okay, this is how, for example, for me, this is how, when I go to the gym, when I see this, it flares up this negative feeling inside because it's triggered because of that. Then you become aware. You start understanding yourself. And that's the game of life. It's having an understanding, the self-awareness that Gary Vee talks about, of what you are, right? What you went through, what kind of tendencies you have, right? And the more you know yourself, the better you can live. Think about it. If you know uh, that certain things make your life worse, why are you going to keep doing them? You know what I mean? It's like, what's the purpose of them? And that's how my life changed when I was younger. I was hanging out with the wrong people, toxic people that but that I wasn't growing from. I was doing all sorts of wrong habits, like constant fapping and masturbation, and just laziness and eating the wrong foods, and just a loop of negative habits. And if you've been there, you know what it feels like. It's a shitty feeling. And so once I became aware of the fact that, look, this is not how I want to approach or live my life, then something changed. Something very beautiful changed. It created kind of a pull towards a like a curious pull to try to find out what is the solution to this. So how do I end the suffering? How do I find peace? How do I heal? And then I started my personal development journey, trying all these different habits to try to heal. Tried going to the gym. I thought, look, if I have a beautiful physique, then maybe I'll feel better and heal from inside and feel good enough. Or maybe if I get all the money, the status, the fame, then maybe I will feel good enough. And I tried all these things, and it doesn't heal you. It's just the truth. It doesn't heal you. You can try, and I'm not here preaching. I'm just telling you my experience. I tried these things, and they don't bring lasting peace, fulfillment, or healing. But then I found a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And The Power of Now was so beautiful and was an awakening for me. You can see it through my eyes when I talk about it. I don't know how many videos I did about this. I start to tear up and feel all these beautiful feelings inside because it genuinely changed my life. And if you're someone who's trying to find that peace, trust me, read the book. Read the book. I have literally no benefit from my side. I'm not making money from it. I'm telling you this because it genuinely has the potential to change your life like it did with mine. And so what happened next was I read the book, had this awakening, and felt a peace, a deep peace within. that I hadn't felt in such a long time. And it was beautiful because um, we're all longing for that peace. We all want to feel that, genuinely, all of us. And that's the purpose of our existence, is to purify ourselves through God, and you will feel that peace in your day to day. Now, the beauty of it is the power of now, your trauma is in the past and the future. The past mostly, right? And it manifests itself in the present and the future. But the power of now emphasizes and teaches you, first of all, how the ego operates. So all that, all the stories that you put up together to create your identity, which has been forged in your subconscious mind. And then what it helps you to do is that it helps you realize what the ego does and how it manifests itself to create that suffering you feel inside, so you can avoid falling into the traps again. And that's the beauty of it. And it teaches you that the true way to lasting fulfillment is the present moment. And the more present you are, the more you heal, because the divine manifests. There's no more blockages from trauma in your chakras, in your energy, in your being. The energy just flows. And it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful journey. Like I look back at 5 years from now and how I was, bro. Trust me, I couldn't couldn't talk to girls. I couldn't. Um, I had zero confidence, zero self esteem. I used to always judge myself and always had a deep belief that I was not worthy, not lovable, not anything. And you look at it 5 years from now, after the healing journey through spirituality, through the power of now, through listening to the beautiful gurus and spiritual teachers like Ramdas, like Baba Nim Karoli, like Eckhart Tolle, like Alan Watts. You change, man. You heal. You might not see it on the same day, but you start healing in ways that are beautiful, makes you want to live. And so, here, what's really interesting is my practice of meditation really, really helped me. I've been meditating for the past, since I was 17, 16, so 6, 7 years, 5 or 6 years. And meditation, mindfulness is the most healing practice I've ever done in my entire life. Like, man, it's just because when you live in the present, you read the power of now. You start practicing meditation, making it your way of life, of living. Man, it's just, you touch just a beautiful, beautiful feeling inside your soul. And that's the most beautiful thing. You don't want to spend your life being bruised up, right? And just spending your entire life hurting, suffering, and feeling that pain inside. It's not a way to live. But it's that pain, that suffering, and those bruises that will direct you towards your true self, towards the divine. And that's the beauty of it, is that without it, how do you ever discover your true self, the being, the soul that's already infinite, that's already love, that's already joy, that's already everything you ever want? That's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it. And there's a quote that I always refer back to because I love it, by Thich Han Nietzsche. I hope I said that well. um, that says, "The lotus flower blooms. The lotus flower blooms in the mud. And it's the same with us as souls. To be able to bloom and to awaken, you have to go through the suffering. You have to go through it with awareness, with acceptance, with kindness, all within a mindful spirit. That's the beauty of it. That's really the beauty of it. And once you do that, once you heal, the world around you becomes like, how do I explain this? Like a big dance. You stop being triggered by minimal things that have, it's literally has no purpose. You stop feeling insecurity every time you see something that reminds you of your pain, and you start being much, much, much more kind and peaceful within yourself. But the journey starts with you. Starts with you, first of all, realizing that there's something wrong, and that I'm being, it's okay, that I'm being angry, that I'm reacting certain ways, that I'm not comfortable with myself. It's okay. It's okay to feel that. I remember once I was so insecure of how I looked because of my big nose. And because of the trauma of before, of people telling me, you're ugly, you're not attractive, you're na na na. That I was once like in the pool, and we had PE class in the pool with the with my classmates, and I was so afraid. This is so crazy. I was so afraid to show my face when I wanted to take a deep breath. So when you're swimming, right, you got your head in the water, and you want to go up and then go back down, right? And I was so afraid to get my face out of the water because people were looking at me. It's a crazy thing, but I've never said that to anyone, but it's true. I was so afraid. And I used to take deep breath from the other side so they wouldn't see my face because I was so insecure, so insecure. So that's the thing. Is that first, man, I've been in the lowest low in terms of insecurity. I've been at the lowest, like, bro, to a certain extent where I, like, the example of the swimming pool is already pretty clear example of what it feels like to be deeply, deeply insecure and traumatized by a certain thing. And when I look back at that moment, I have love, I have a kind of compassion for the shame, all the shame I put myself through because of how I looked, and it maybe wasn't even true, you know. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can change, you can heal. That's the most beautiful thing. You can change, you can heal, but it starts with the awareness that, okay, I'm feeling that way. It's fine. It's natural. I'm feeling that way. It is what it is. But then having the courage to say, okay, so how do I fix it? And I believe in my life, the power of now played a huge role in my healing, and I would recommend it to anyone. What else comes to mind? Um, Throughout that journey, there was a lot of ups and downs. It's not like healing is not a, it's not like a, where you're going up and up and up. No, it's you're going up, back down, up, back down, up, and it keeps going. So it's not a journey where you're directly gonna feel, wow, I'm so confident right now. No, It's genuinely a journey, and you have to embrace the journey, like you embrace the highs, embrace the lows. And here's the beauty of it: is that it's by starting the first step, taking that first step, that the healing begins. And that first step doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to. You don't have to go and do the crazy mental toughness challenges that David Goggins talks about to be able to heal. No, because then you're feeding again the ego, and you're feeding the feeling of not feeling good enough. And yeah, although you might feel, and I went through it, I'm not talking from my head. I did some pretty, in my idea, some pretty tough things that I said to myself, like running a marathon with no training, like running half a marathon in less than. I wanted to. The goal was to run 100 kilometers in less than 24 hours. I I'm daily, every single day of my life, I'm doing things that I don't want to do, and that are painful, like cold plunges, 2 degrees, 3 degrees water every single day. And these are not fun things to do. But are they the solution to healing? I don't think so. I believe that true healing, yes, it helps you. Let's be straight. Let's be honest. Those practices, those small disciplines, help you build the discipline you need to then use it in presence. But is it the solution to healing? No, it's not. Because you can, every time you feel shit, you can start running. You can run 25, 50, 100 kilometers, whatever that is. And yeah, you'll feel a short feeling of, by the way, when you feel that feeling of peace after you've put yourself through excruciating pain, it's because your mind is so tired it stops talking. And when your mind is quiet, this is where you find peace. So I don't believe, I use I'm deeply grateful for David Goggins and his book Can't Hurt Me. I listened to the audiobook and it changed me. It triggered something inside of me that wanted to unleash my potential. And Mentally Great was named after David Goggins. I swear this is the truth, because I wanted to set the intention to be mentally great, whether that's in my mental health, in my mental toughness, and my mental discipline. But I came to find that it's not the solution to finding long lasting peace. It's just not. The true discipline comes in quieting the mind. And it's by quieting the mind through meditation, through mindfulness, through reading spiritual books, that you find and you reconnect with that inner peace that's always been there. It's always there. It's just you fog it up with someone. Your life experience and the things you go through fogs it up sometimes with a bunch of clouds, and you can't feel it or perceive it. But once you heal, the clouds move away. The blockages, there's no more blockages, and the light shines. It's just the truth, man. I'm telling you the truth. It's my truth. Let's not say it's the absolute truth, but it's my truth. Because I'm a person that really picks and chooses. I don't blindly believe something when I read a book or watch a video or listen to a podcast. I pick my truth, which means I take that information, I test it, and if it works, then it becomes my truth. You know what I mean? So that's important. It's important to not blindly believe whatever the fuck you hear, because a lot of people do. And if you do your whole life and you believe things that are not true, like the thoughts of you are not good enough, the thoughts of you, the thoughts of you have nothing to give to this world, the thoughts of you are not lovable, then you'll live your whole life limited. You will never be able to live your true potential. You'll never be able to achieve meaningful success. And most importantly, you'll never be able to feel that peace within. So, the first thing you have to question is not other people, but yourself. Question yourself. Why am I thinking that thought? Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? These are questions worth asking. And these are the questions that start to change the awareness I urge you to journal on these questions. And as I'm using an app now called Day One Journal. And bro, by the way, this is a recommendation from Ali Abdal, which I am going to get on the podcast very soon, hopefully. But yeah, it's important. I hear Arnav Kumar Bhatia saying, "Yes, I agree, man. I also want to be on the self improvement. Actually, I was, but I again got into these instant gratification things, and I'm trying to go back again. Yes, you can, bro. Trust me, I've relapsed so many times, and I also fall into the traps of instant gratification a lot of times. It happens. It's normal. But the true courage comes from being aware of it, being kind to yourself, and coming back on the way, right? So, small disciplines in the morning, like making your bed or doing your meditation, your yoga, your cold plunges, the two most powerful habits that I found to in my life. Do a podcast with Hamza also, please, if possible. I swear to my mother's life, this is crazy that you say this because I just finished my cold plunge in the morning and I thought about it. I'm going to travel to the UK and set up podcasts back to back. And I have Ali Abdal, Hamza, Andrew Kirby, Jats, Jake Eisen, and a bunch of other people that really inspire me and that I'm really curious about their stories. And so it's going to happen in the coming weeks. Hopefully, hopefully it's going to happen. Um, so yeah, coming back, instant gratification. I have a friend who's actually my best friend since childhood. Okay, I'll watch it for sure. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. And so I have a friend talking about instant gratification. I have a friend who actually, because of COVID, fell into this comfortable cycle, and now he's been stuck inside of it for the past 2 years. And I've tried to help him a lot of times. I've tried to recommend him books. I've tried to stay with him and listen and listen and listen. But you have to have the courage to be aware of it and to realize this is not the way you want to live. This is not the way you want to live your life. If you want to live your entire life just just at a place where you want to live your entire life never knowing or even wasting your potential, there's two questions that changed my life. The first one was, it was from a book from Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. The first one said, this is extremely powerful. It said, if I continue my life this way, you have to journal this. You have to take a book, a journal, and you have to write it down with a pen. Okay? And what you're going to do is this, you're going to write these two questions. Okay, Arnav? The first question is, if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, the negative habits, how much pain will I feel in the next 6 months? What will I miss out on, right? How much pain will I feel? How much regret? So the first one is a question on pain. How much pain will you feel if you don't change? And you really have to go and write everything. Write a full page. The second page is going to be how much fulfillment and how much pleasure will I feel if I do change this thing and do achieve whatever I want to achieve. So pain and pleasure. If you think of any action you take in your day, and tell me if I'm wrong, test it out for yourself and apply the rule of pick your truth. If you apply this to your life, every action that you do is either driven by pleasure, to gain pleasure, or to avoid pain. This is literally how we're programmed as human beings. Our ego is trying to keep us safe and alive. And it operates by these two principles: gain pleasure, avoid pain. And understanding these really helps you heal also, which is crazy. It does. Because then you can realize, okay, I'm doing this to avoid that pain. Then when you journal it and you write it down, it's like, okay, I get it. I get it now. It's like an awakening moment. And it makes you aware of those things, which then pulls you to change. Because if you're not aware of something that you're doing that's wrong, then how can you change? Right? Let's be real. How can you change? So that's important. And these are things I've gone through myself. And that's why it's so important. It's important also. I just remember the practice that really helped me out. That was, by the way, Arnaj, are you still here? Say yes if you are, because I want to ask something. Arnav, story. Because I see there's one listener. Guys, say yes if you are listening to the. Say yes in the chat if you're listening to the conversation. It might be lagging. I don't know, but okay. To come back, I had a exercise. I was once in a plane, okay, and I had 2 hours of sleep. But I always okay. Arnav is here, so I'm gonna tell you a story of uh, what really started my healing journey and what helped me to awaken just that unlimited self inside, that higher self that helps you to get into these flow states, so to be able to have creative ideas and to achieve ultimately your dream life. And so I was on a plane. I was traveling from the UK to Lebanon. And bro, I had 2 hours of sleep, but I have this rule. When I hop on a plane or travel or go to an airport, I always bring a book with me. I love reading, I love learning, and I would rather spend my time reading than on my phone when traveling. So I always bring a book. That's a rule I have. And so I was reading that book like for hours, reading. And in the book, he talked about a practice, a visualization practice, where you go back to that instant where you felt trauma, right? You go back to it and you accept it fully. You forgive yourself. And it's beautiful because when I did it, and the book was called Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. When I did that practice, I swear to God, I felt such an instant feeling of relief and freedom inside. And it's beautiful because then you don't become chained to your past and it weighs you down and you can't take positive actions to the future. Because that's how most people live. We live by the chains of our trauma and it pulls us back. Every time we start something, it pulls us back. And we what is it called? We self sabotage. And that's how life that's how you limit yourself and your life and your potential and your service and your ability to love. And you're not truly being a human being. You're just a person that's traumatized. Can you resonate with that, Arnav? Do you have a story? Do you have you gone through some sort of suffering or pain or trauma in your life? I know it's a deep topic, but sharing and letting it out really helps you heal. Also, it's part of the process. It's all part of the process. That's the beauty of it. Every single event. Did you feel it, Arnav? Something in your life that really impacted you, maybe negatively, that made you feel suffering inside? Yes, when I lost a girl. Yeah, breakup is tough, man. I've never I've never had one, but I've had friends that did. And man, it just crushes them. It crushes their soul. Yeah. I actually have never this is this is revealing. I'm really being vulnerable here, but I've never I've never had a girlfriend or went on a date in my entire life. Literally. This is not me just saying it to sound cool or to no, I've just never. Because I never felt worthy of genuine love because of that trauma. So this might be a bit too revealing, but this is what it's all about. It's about being vulnerable, it's about being real, and it's about sharing the truth. And I'm a person that deeply believes and lives by the truth. And this is where trauma starts. And so this has been the end. She was not my girlfriend yet, and I messed up. She was not my girlfriend yet, and I messed up. It's fine, bro. It's fine. And I also never had one, although I'm just 17. But yeah, guys my age have had many. It's fine, bro. Trust me. I know what you feel. It's fine. Just now is the time to focus on yourself, to heal, to be your best version possible, and it will come. When the time is right, it will come. And so this has been healing my trauma, daily reflections number 4. I'm actually gonna do Arnav, what do you think? Should I do more lives or should I record these and then post them every day? Which one do you prefer? Because I've always had the idea of streaming, and I genuinely feel it's really cool to just come up, have a topic that interests me, and just do it. What do you think about this? What is it, a W or a or a L? This stream, for example, for you, what was the experience like? By the way, I also have my camera here. Let me show you. So I have my camera, but I have to connect it, and so the quality becomes better. But what do you think? I want to get your perspective. Should I do more of these? And if so, I think you should record and have the audience again, like before, then stream, because I don't see anyone else watching. I think you should record and have the audience again, like before, then stream, because I don't see anyone else watching. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I should start these reflections and post every day, every day, every day, every day, then reconnect with the audience because it's been a long time since I stopped, and then start streaming. I was thinking of doing it like daily streams where I hop on and just have a topic and just interact and talk about this, and then weekly, so a daily podcast together as a community and weekly podcast with guests, and both of them would be streamed. What do you think? Is it a good idea or no? By the way, I love this live thing makes my life so easy because I don't have to then export the footage and then there's no more blockages. I just stream, post, done. It's, hallelujah, it's raining. Man. You can actually you can share your screen. Let me test these functions, bro. You can share your screen window. Can you hear me now? I want to share that idea with you because I value your opinion and what because you've experienced the stream, so you know kind of how it's going to be. Okay, so you think it's a good idea that I do weekly? So first of all, I start again posting daily reflections, right? Where I come on and I have a topic that really interests me, and then I talk about it freely, and then I post these as daily podcasts for community. And every week, for example, tomorrow we're gonna have Pat Bergener, and it's a weekly episode for the podcast. And I'm thinking of streaming both, so daily podcast streams for the community and daily and weekly, sorry, guest streams for the podcast. And it's all gonna be to enable you as a high performer to live a richer, more enlightened, and meaningful and fulfilling life. And so, what do you think of that idea? Do you think it's a good one? By the way, I didn't know streaming was that fun. It's really cool, and I'm happy I did this. Love that idea. Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, Arnav, I like this. Should I do a specific time where maybe every day at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern, there's a new stream? Do you think that's a good idea too? And maybe do them at night so the coloring is better and film with my camera. You can hear them. Is this recording with this mic? You can edit, customization, live chat replay, anyone who can send messages, anyone subscribers. 5 minutes, 1 minute, boom, boom. I don't know the time. I live in India. Can you tell me in Indian standard time? I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure it out and maybe try to find a time. But I think the first step in the plan, and I'm gonna write it down, which is a smart idea, which is true, is to first reconnect, right? So post these daily reflections to get the consistency back up, right? And so that's step number one. Step number two is then to have the live streams. Live streams for the daily community podcast, and then weekly for the guest based podcast. Both with the intention of helping high performers live a richer, more enlightened, and meaningful existence. Including me, by the way, this is going to be a journey. This is not going to be like it'll help you in building the habit. Exactly. So I've been actually, this is the fourth day that I actually filmed daily reflections, and I've had three already filmed that I'm going to post. And I genuinely want to build the habit back again and to try the streaming thing because I think it's a genuine way to build a meaningful spiritual and self development community. And I really want to do it because I don't see on Kick anyone that talks about personal development that has a genuine community that's not a gamer that talks about personal development and spiritual development and that connects with the community. So I think it would be a great idea. So that's going to be the plan. That's going to be the plan. Um, I promise you, I'm going to be there every week, every day, every week with a new guest episode, every day with a new community episode. And it's all going to be within the podcast, Rich Inside. So I'm excited for this because I'm a person, once I like something and I'm interested in it, I'm going to go full with it. So Praneeth, it's been a while since I saw you, brother. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been actually 472 days that I've been away, and it's because I really stopped liking scripted content because you're not yourself. You're just there acting a certain way that's different than who you really are. And there came a point where I just hated myself for it because that just wasn't me. And then streaming allows me to be naturally myself, podcasting too, and combining both. So a podcast stream is the perfect solution. So that's what we're gonna do. Can I ask? Know your purpose because I'm trying to find mine. This is beautiful, by the way. Can I ask how to find my purpose because I'm trying to find mine? Actually, a few months ago, I was very confused as to what my purpose is. And I was lost and I was like, what's next? I know I wanted to stop mentally great because I didn't like scripting and these fake characters, but I knew I wanted to find my passion, my purpose. And so I saw a video by Gabby Bernstein called, oh shit, there was a, who heard that, bro? There was like a huge thunder. Okay, so I saw a video by Gabby Bernstein that talked about. Um, it was on the Oprah show that talked about the power of surrender and how surrender and prayer and all the rest really helps. So I read her book. It was called "The Universe Has Your Back" by Gabby Bernstein, and I loved it. I loved this book. And so I read the book. It really helped me connect with myself. And then I did a practice that changed my life. It was called the Ikigai. So Google it and check out what that is. Basically, what it is this: it's the sweet spot between four circles. So then it comes back to self awareness. First, what are you good at? That's the first circle, right? Second, what can you be paid for? That's the second circle. Third is what does the world need? And there's one more circle. Let me check. So you have these three circles, then you have Ikigai. So search it. Let's actually stream it right now. That's so cool. Stream your shit. Bro, I'm like a kid. Can you see my screen? If you Say yes if you are. Hello, HG3. How are you, brother? Can you see my screen? Say yes if you are. So I can show you. Yes, okay. Guy. Boom. This is a Chinese method to find your purpose, which is really cool. Okay, so what you love, what the world needs, that's your mission. What the world needs and what you can be paid for, that's your vocation. What you can be paid for and what you are good at, that's your profession. And what you are good at and what you love, that's your passion. So the center of all these is your ikigai. It's your purpose on this earth. So for me, why can I see the chat? I want to see the chat when I'm sharing these things. Pop out. Okay. So can you still see my screen? Pop, pop. Else I'm going to show you the ikigai. Okay. So what I did when I was confused, guys, can you hear me? And can you see my screen, most importantly, because I want to show it to you. Yes. Okay. So when I was confused, I was like, what the like, what do I do with my life? And so I sat down, I took a journal and I had the ikigai in front of me and I was answering each question. So what do you love? Started writing, writing. Even if it doesn't make sense sometimes, you just write. What does the world need? Write. What you can be paid for, you write. What you are good at, you write. And then you're gonna figure out things that sort of match. Like for example, what do you love? I knew I loved self passion. I literally for a year I wasn't on social media, right? But my self-development journey kept going. It's my obsession. This is what I deeply and genuinely love. I love to learn, I love to grow, I love to all these things. These are things that deeply love. And then what are you good at? So I assess myself, okay, what am I good at? And there's a personality test you can do to figure that out too, where you put some questions and you figure out your type of personality and you figure out what you're good at. And you can also do like numerology where you can put your date, your birth date, and it's quite accurate. It tells you a lot about yourself and you figure out what you're good at. And I figured out that I was really good at influence. I was really good at impacting people positively without even trying. Like this is something I did for fun and because it started with friends that I really loved and they needed help with certain things. And I tell them, look, I read in that book this thing, it could really help you out. And they try it and it works. Like for example, I have a really good friend that's called Salamoon. He's my best friend. Like I would die for this person. And so he was at a place before where he was really thinking everything, like everything. And he was when your mind is just going at 1,000 miles an hour, you can't be happy. It's just literally impossible. You have to quiet it down. That's how you find peace. And so he told me, bro, I'm overthinking a lot. And at that time, I just started mentally great. And he was like, I'm overthinking a lot. I feel anxious a lot of the time. Very hard feeling. And I was like, bro, read The Power of Now. And he didn't even hesitate for a second. He was like, boom, get up, let's go. And we went to the library, bought the book. It changed his life, literally changed his life. And that's the sort of influence I deeply cherish. Genuine, truthful, and meaningful influence where you're not impacting people through manipulation and trying to, no, it's a genuine, pure influence. And this is the one that I was really good at. What can you be paid for? I can be paid for making content, for example. Like I was really good at making content. Knew this because I went through the trials and I built the skill of making content and I was just getting really good at it. So I knew content was something I could be really good at. What does the world need? It needs more light. It needs more positivity. It needs more spirituality. And so then it became clear. I knew I didn't like scripting. So that's the game of self-awareness. Once you know yourself, everything changes, man. It's just the truth. Everything changes because then you become aware of what you want, what you really want from this life. It's not like you are here and you're like confused. No, you become aware of what you want. And it's beautiful. Do you guys resonate with this till now? Does it to simplify? I don't know. Maybe the chat is nothing to see here. Can I see the chat? Guys, can you hear me right now or is it lagging? I need myself some water. Man, like you opened my mind. Thank you so much, bro. Love you too, my bro. Love you too, my bro. And so this is the Ikigai. I recommend you do it for yourself. Try it out, and you'll see it has a huge impact, like genuinely. So try it out, and you'll see. Um, and so yeah, this is my journey. This is healing my trauma. Which, by the way, the trauma that happened to me was the biggest blessing in my entire life. The blessing, literally the biggest blessing. And when you look back at it, you're like, wow. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have improved that much. I wouldn't have been directed towards that, towards my passion, towards what I really want, towards uh, the truth of life. So this is it. Much love. And actually, I'm finishing up. So Arnav, you say, okay, man, I gotta go now. We'll be with you in the chat next week. I would be more than honored to have you on. And yeah, I'm gonna try to do this more often because I genuinely enjoyed it. I don't know if throw W's. I see a lot of streamers doing this. So throw W's in the chat if you really enjoyed this or if you got some sort of value from it. And I'm genuinely thinking of doing more of those types of things, like streaming maybe on Kick um, or in Twitch or whatever, just to try to get the message out in a way that's genuine and consistent with it because I'm a person that really values simplicity. And if it gets too confusing and too complex to do, I won't stick with it. So, yeah. So let me know throw W's in the chat if you enjoyed this and if you want me to do more of this. And yeah, I will try to do more if you enjoy it. I certainly do. So let me know. Stop sharing. We are back. Restore chat. Okay. Where's the chat? By the way, this hour just passed like it was 2 minutes. This is crazy. W. Okay, Praneeth got that W. Appreciate you, brother. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do more of these. And this has been another daily reflection. And I'm gonna try to do these every single day. I'm gonna try my best. And I'm gonna start first, like I said before, daily reflections posted, right? So maybe not live. Some of them are going to be live, but I'm just want to get the momentum going again. Then it's going to be live streams. So live streaming the community podcast where we talk, me and you, and we interact through the chat, which is beautiful, by the way, because it's like I don't have to wait to post the video, then wait for the comments, and it's right away. I can directly interact with you guys. And then the second thing is gonna be weekly guest podcasts. I'm gonna try to live stream those, even though it's gonna be maybe a bit harder because there's some technical aspects and all. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. Let me know, give W's in the chat or in the comments if you watch this again, if you want me to do more of this. And let me know your experience too and what you went through so we can all heal together. It's been your boy, Aji, MG, and this is pretty much it. Much love. End the stream. Bam.